Hi guys, my name is KP Balan. As some of you guys know me from my previous YouTube videos. I'm a clinical tutor and I'm also a doctor here in Australia. So today I thought we would talk about the GP exams. I've been receiving a lot of questions on what is the GP exam to enter the GP fellowship is all about, and especially from my after my previous video. I think a lot of candidates, there was an intake recently, so I think a lot of candidates are kind of trying to figure out what they want to do and what fellowships to do here in Australia. And especially, I've also seen a lot of questions come up after my recent talk, which has been amazing. And I'd just like to take a moment and thank all of you guys out there who attended my video, my talk, and also for all of you guys who have been subscribing to my video, leaving such positive and words of encouragement. And thank you for taking the time to subscribe and watch my video. Anyway, so let's get to it. And I thought let's talk about this exam, especially since I've done the exam. I am in the fellowship training program for the GP, so I thought, why not give it a crack? Hey, so let's get started. So, what is the CAKKT exam? So, basically, it is an exam. It's known as Candidate Assessment Applied Knowledge Test, and it has two components to the exam. So, it is based on 80 questions. 60 of them are based on your knowledge test, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. And 20 are situation judgment tests. And apart from that, this exam is basically for candidates that are looking to enter the GP training pathway. So, what is KT and SGT? KT is basically they're clinical questions, and they mainly revolve around acute medicine and emergency medicine, and there are about 60 of them. So, if you have done a rotation ED, HDU, or AMU, they will go a long way and they do tend to help you during the exam. Apart from that, the SJT is the other one where it kind of encompasses all the questions about ethical, moral, legal issues, and also sometimes a little bit about professionalism. And there are about 20 of those. And again, it's not incorrect or correct questions. They can be partially correct or completely correct. So, what that means is that in an MCQ, you can have multiple answers. So, there's not just one answer to one MCQ question. So, that's why if you get, say, there's three right answers out of the five options, you select two, you get it partially correct, not completely wrong. So, that's a good positive angle to that. So, is it important? Yeah, absolutely. It's important because it's a first step to enrolling into the GP fellowship and for you to become a general practitioner and practice what you'd like. Now, what happens after this exam? Well, once you're done with this exam, you will be, the next step is basically you'll be invited for an interview. And does the scores matter? Absolutely. So, what that means is that you'll be scored with a band of 1 to 10, 1 being the highest. And the band you achieve will impact the chances of you moving on to the next step and being shortlisted. However, the cutoff is not based on, the cutoff is based on how everyone fares in the exam. So it varies from batch to batch and depends on how the candidates in that particular batch did. And again, however, this does not determine the training site that you'll be working for. That is completely different. And I have made a video on the GP pathway, so do check it out. So, what are the steps? So, first and foremost, apply for the RSCGP GP program. Now, if you guys watched my previous video, I have talked about the rural pathway and the metro pathway. A bit of a recap is that usually international medical doctors are subjected to the 10-year moratorium. That means we need to work about 10 years in a rural area. Now, I have touched base a little bit on that in my previous video, so do check it out. I'm not going to go too in detail about it. There is ways to get around it, but you most likely will be subjected to rural pathway. Now, metro pathway, if you do get an exemption, you can apply for the metro pathway. Now, once RCGP is advised that you're eligible, you'll be sent an invitation and contain details regarding the enrollment to the CAAKT exams. Then the progress to making the payment will be the next step after they deem you eligible. So to enter the RCGP, you do have a few criteria like having a general registration and also making sure that you have a residential status such as PR or citizenship. So again, do check out the previous video. It does go into a bit of detail, all right? Now, you make the payment and you register online. All right. Once your registration is done, you get to choose the location of the test centers. So, what is the next step? The next step is basically you will be able to choose one session from the list, and out of the three, so there will be 3 days where you get to choose one session and a particular time as well. All right. And again, there is a limit as to how many candidates can sit in that particular time slot on that day. So there will be a first come first serve basis, so make sure that when it's announced you're on the website registering, making the payments, and getting your slot that you want. And if a test site is fully booked, you may need to choose an alternate site. So that's why it's, again, it's first come first serve. So please make sure that you are there when it's announced and you choose the timing and the place that suits you the best. And also the venue has a strict number, so that's very important. So, how do you prepare for this exam? Well, you do have some sample questions on the RACGP website that kind of give you an overview as to how the exam questions are. You do have an online question bank, again, not endorsed by the RACGP. From my personal experience, again, I'm not endorsing anyone, and this is just what I've used and what I did to get into the program, is the mcqbank.co.uk. And again, if you can see, it is a UK website, not an Australian website. So I did try to kind of use my personal experience and also use ethical books that are online websites and guidelines to kind of touch base as to what the actual answer might be. And then, last but not least, there are YouTube channels that show tips and make sure the candidates have what candidates have done in their previous exams. So do listen to them. They have gone through the process, so do take some time with that. Where do I give the exam? Well, I did my exam during the COVID time, so I did my exam remotely. Now that we're moving more into face to face and also kind of the restrictions are being lifted, we're going into, they're allowing centers to hold these exams, and there are 3 days that they allocate for this exam and a particular time. So again, first come first serve basis, so make sure that you get there and register. So part of the registration, you do need some identification documents. I'm not going to go too detailed into this, but again, some of the things that you need is like your Australian passport or your foreign passport, a driver's license. Usually, it's an Australian driver's license that you require, and it needs to have a photograph. You also need proof of age or any other sort of identity card. And all of this information can be found on the RSCGP website. And again, it'll be also in your email that you receive. So please make sure that you take a good read. Now, apart from that, you also have to arrive 1 hour prior to the start time, and you also need to bring a proof of ID to the exam hall. All right. So if you have any issues with the proof of ID that is mentioned above, if you have any issues, please contact the RSCGP, that email, at least 48 hours before your assessment date. Okay. And please make sure that there is no name discrepancies or any address discrepancies and things like that that can stall and kind of disqualify you from taking the exam. So, at the exam, what do you do? So, items that you cannot take to the exam are like your phone, your personal belongings, other than your identification till the point of registration. Then you and all these items that you can, if you can put it in a like a nice small bag, and they will give you an area where you can store this till your assessment's done. And then again, they will pat you down to make sure that your pockets are empty and that you don't have anything on you. Now, note taking. Appropriate materials to take notes during the assessment is provided to you, and you will be expected to leave all notes that you take during the exam behind. So again, they won't you can't take anything in or out of the exam hall. So if you have any further queries, I'm more than happy for you guys to drop in a message below in the YouTube channel. Also, you can also contact me through the Facebook account that is KP Balan, or my group, which is KP Balan Group. I'll put this PowerPoint up there, so if you have any questions, you can refer it on again. And last but not least, you can also check out my Instagram account where I'll be posting all my videos and upcoming and answering the questions. The best way to actually reach me is by sending me a messenger message through my KP Balan Facebook group, or it is by actually dropping a comment on the YouTube and the Facebook groups. That's where I answer the fastest and the quickest, and the way to get to you guys. Now, I hope this video was helpful. Please do subscribe to get access to more videos. And also, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to answer them. And all of you guys out there who have given me a couple of ideas on videos, please wait. I am getting them done soon. All right. Bye.